I seriously have no idea. So here we are. Maybe we're live. Who knows? I don't know anymore. I'm muting Wes's microphone as he has stepped away. Would love to know if you guys want to confirm if we're live or not, because I don't know, man. I don't know anymore. There's so many technical issues that we deal with over here. Hi, Wes. Hi, you're muted right now, and it won't let me unmute you. So I'm sorry. It just will not let me do that. Anyway, so bear with me here as we work out these kinks. Okay. All right. Well, I see myself on Twitter, so that's helpful. Wes, there you go. Now I can hear you. Wes, I don't know. We had some technical issues.
As compared to the last few weeks,
as we're wont to do here on At the Mic, it's the Thursday deep dive, and I appreciate y'all making time as always. So grateful. Let me check something here, y'all. Stand by. I don't know that we're live on YouTube right now. So if you were looking for us over there, my sincere apologies. I know a lot of you have a routine, and
and this is where I get to thrive. Okay, so when Keith's saying, "I don't know what's going on," this is where I jump in.
Yeah, please do. So I don't know. Are you getting us okay over there?
Yeah,
you got it?
I got us, no problem.
All right, very good, very good. Okay, so there is a lot that is not known about how today's live stream is going to go. I'll tell you that because my guest, he had something come up, and so if he doesn't join us, then we'll figure it out. And because I've got his Twitter thread that inspired today's conversation in front of me. Because, and we will get into this, there are so many unanswered questions from the COVID era. And there's one specific player from that era that, man, it just didn't sit well. It didn't sit well with her, Dr. Leana Wen, throughout the entire COVID era. And she requires further exploration. And by the way, Wes, just so you know, I can get some slap back here, so I don't know if your headphones are up really loud or what, but just wanted you to be aware of that. So anyway, so we need to look into her, and she's not the only one from that era that requires closer scrutiny. Still hearing you, Wes.
Okay.
So anyway, I think she is one of many people. Like, I would love to see what's going to come about with the. I'm gonna mute Wes. I love him to death, but boy, something's happening there on that end. Okay, with the James Comer, Anna Paulina Luna, COVID files that hopefully we'll get soon. We need to explore what's going on there and what the real story is. And yes, I see Victoria's hand, and I'm again gonna mute that end over there. So before we go any further, because clearly this is just a cluster right now, I want to make sure that everybody knows that we are on X, obviously live streaming at Keith Malinak. Our apologies for the YouTube issue. That's the thing. I just want to do a freaking show, and there's so many technical issues that happen that just drain the life out of you, and you're just like, can I please just do a freaking show? So at Keith Malinak on X, and then of course youtube.com/at the mic. Yeah, in a perfect world, it's at the mic. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. See, even the wood carving has issues. Shout out to Gabby for all of the hard work that she is doing on Instagram, just for the love of the game. Thank you so much, Gabby. With the At the Mic Show Instagram account, she is doing 100% of that. I am offering nothing, which isn't the first time. But
you give me beer money.
I give you beer money. Yes, I do. And I appreciate Wes very much. Okay, so Toby, I appreciate you chiming in, saying it sounds great, because there's so many uncertainties right now with this. So thank you for that. And by the way, I just had my phone. I don't know if Matilda ran off with my phone or what. Did it fall? I don't see it. And you say, which one? Well, it's not this one. It's not the green one. It's not the black one. I've lost my orange one, which is the one that actually, connects to the world. I seriously have no idea where it is. So if my guest is trying to get in touch with me, sweet Lord, it's one of those days. And by the way, I don't know if it's an Android thing. I don't know if it's a Keith phone thing, but Twitter has just started crapping out on me. Look at that! I even forgot to turn the light on today. Now I can't even reach it. I'm not going all the way over there. So now it's dark and mysterious. But anyway, I don't know if it's me. Anybody else having an issue with their Twitter account lately? Because it is. Is it been crashing on you too, Wes? Oh, crap. Sorry, Wes is muted. My bad. Hang on. You might have to unmute you over there. I don't know, Wes. What's happening? Sorry, bro.
It's all right, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're down low, though. You're down really low. Sorry.
You hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, when I first started that guy at PGU, thank you also for tagging me in so many posts within a 2-hour time frame. But I was only allowed for 2 weeks to follow 2 people per day.
So Twitter was restricting you from.
Yes.
I don't get that. That's weird. I've seen before where they've limited like 100 maximum or something like that. They were only allowing you to follow 2 people back in a day.
Yeah, because like in the first day that I started it, I got like 70 people that started.
Yeah.
And then I could only follow 2 people back.
Oh my goodness.
So sorry about that. It wasn't anything personal. I just want to say that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, because he hasn't even. Did you follow me back, sir?
Did I?
I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. Oh, this is very exciting. Wes has been hard at work, as usual, with the. It's at the mic.transistor.fm. I should have made a graphic. Oh, did I make a graphic? See, look at that. I might have actually made a graphic for that. Hang on. I'm going to find this. Yes, I thought I did. Let me see if I can get it up there. Okay, there we go. Oh, at the mic.transistor.fm. Oh my goodness, it showed up on the screen. This is important because so many of you, and I'm so grateful. By the way, Wes, you're not being heard. I just want you to know that. Thanks, Toby. Trying to keep an eye on the chat here. So I don't know what's up there, Wes. You might have to learn sign language. I'm sorry to say.
I mean, I can do that on the fly. Why not?
There you go. You sound a little bit better. At least to me, I can hear you. Wes cannot, or Toby cannot. So what Wes did is he created this website, at the mic.transistor.fm. If you scroll down there are a dozen places where you can get the audio stream of this podcast. Obviously, it's not live, but you got Spotify, Apple iTunes, all sorts of stuff. So find your player of choice. It's there. Hold on. Let me put the graphic back up. Boom! At the mic.transistor.fm. So just to give you an update, our scheduled guest, Dr. Simon Goddek, he has the link to join us today. If he's able to, he will. And yeah, I'm sorry. Toasty Mitts also confirming that Wes is not hearable. I don't know if that's a word, but we're going with it. So all sorts of stuff for you to remember today. The Instagram that Gabby's been working on, at the Mic Show, all sorts of good stuff over there. And of course, at the mic.transit. Look at all these. Hold on. I made all of these graphics. I made this one for Wes's studio, secondfloorstudios.co.
Not .com. He did. That's not a misspelling.
Okay. Yeah, it's .co, secondfloorstudios.co. And again, hopefully Toasty Mitts or Toby or someone can tell us if Wes is now audible. Okay, so I made this fun graphic. Huh? Look at that. That's okay. Right. Hang on a second. What else did I been working on some other stuff here while we were waiting. There's At the Mic Thursday Deep Dive. That's pretty neat. Look at that. There's the At the Mic Show Instagram handle. You've already seen this one. You've got this. I mean, you made that one. I appreciate it. That's very kind. So anyway, lots going. Oh, look at that! Toby hears you. Wes, we can hear you. Heather can hear you.
Thank you. That's the win. I needed a win. So.
Hey, look, we matched today. We got blue tops, blue shirts.
I know, right? I got SpongeBob on my head.
Okay,
and I don't know if anybody from Dallas gets this shirt, but let me know. Let Keith know if you're in Dallas.
Wait, hold on. I can't see it. Richardson. At least we're not.
Yeah.
A couple of suburbs doing battle on your shirt.
So I grew up in Richardson and Garland. It's one of those Rhode Island. It's on the way to Boston.
Oh. Fun fact: we flew into Providence, Rhode Island, because it was cheaper than Boston.
Oh, I bet.
And plus, we needed to hit the Rhode Island and Connecticut on the way to Massachusetts, so it worked out. Yeah, okay, so basically, people can hear you, but I guess it's kind of low, so if you'll just bear with me, let me crank up Wes's microphone.
And I can boost it up on my mixer. I just don't want to come in too hot.
Okay, Toby's like, keep projecting. All right, so
right
just
before this, I was speaking too loud. Okay,
I cranked us both up, by the way. So let's see how that works. This is our first time really in this studio in separate locations, so we're learning on the fly. But I want to give you a heads up that tomorrow my guest Ian Patterson is going to join me. Now we're going to do a Friday live stream, but there are some serious issues, a couple of serious issues that we're going to need to discuss because Ian, he was a big part of the Pineapple Express. So if you'll recall, that was the mission to get. Now I'm too loud. Listen, I appreciate. Actually, Heather, I really appreciate this. I really do. So I've got Wes cranked up, and I pulled myself back a little bit there. So keep me updated. I'll keep checking. So help me, we'll get this right, and then we'll lock it in. So Ian tomorrow, he was a part of Pineapple Express, which got Americans and good people in Afghanistan out of there, saved their lives back during the fall of Afghanistan, August 2021. And he's got some important information about Afghanistan that needs to be heard. So, and he also was just out in Los Angeles helping with the wildfire victims.
Well, he's a great guy.
Oh, yeah, he stays busy, that's for sure. So Ian Patterson will be, I think it'll be his second tour on the Friday live stream. Okay.
I love that you called it a tour.
Yeah.
This is a battlefield technically.
Yes. Okay, let me just check here. By the way, I don't want to promise anything here, but I also send a link cuz it's just you got to send a link to Brad Staggs cuz whenever you can get Brad on board, it just adds to the fun. And he's got an open invitation to join us here. That's so funny you asked that. One of the reasons he probably wasn't going to be able to join today was because of that tooth. That
really?
I guess today is the day that Brad is gonna stop impersonating a hillbilly, huh?
That's all I could stare at last week. I mean, Brad, I love you, buddy, but come on, it was tough.
That was a good look, and I'm gonna miss it actually. It was starting to grow on me there. Toothless Brad Staggs.
Well, the fact that he was quoting Deliverance all the time, I'm like, oh, dude, it's getting creepy now. But
have you ever watched that movie?
What's that?
Did you ever watch Deliverance?
Yeah, when I was 10, believe it or not. And
oh no! Did you know what they were doing to Ned Beatty?
Well, I just remember it was really, really hard to, when I hear the squeal. I'm like, man.
Gosh.
So let's just, it was tough, but.
So here is
South Carolina.
Oh, don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Hey, I lived in South Carolina since 1999.
I love that state so much.
Yeah.
So let me. It's so funny. I've been sitting at this computer for how many hours, Wes? 2 hours.
At least 2, yeah.
For 2 hours, and it didn't occur to me in all of our technical setup to, turn on the light.
Dude, I got stage lights over here at second floor, man. I'm looking lifestyle flashy. So if anybody wants to come record a podcast and you don't have really the time, the equipment, or anything. Yeah, I don't charge $5,000 for a session.
Oh,
Sound over square footage. I'll just say that.
and so before I forget, we were just talking about deliverance. This
Yes.
is how my brain works. We went from Brad's open invitation, Brad's Tooth, Hillbilly, Deliverance. There is, if you ever go to YouTube and you want to type in the Connells, maybe.
Okay, is that like the Wonderful World of the Whites, the guys in West Virginia?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, it's an interesting documentary. We'll just
I'm I'm hearing myself again. What is happening? So
we gotta get you a mixer.
we got to get you to turn your headphones down or something. I don't know what's going on. So they did a spoof of Deliverance, the Connells,
Okay.
for their song Maybe. And it's interesting. It's an interesting video.
Is it
So.
graphic? Is it like it's like not like graphic, but is it one of those, the one scene that we all know about?
You'll just have to tune in. Just know that
Okay, it's on my here. I'm writing it down. It's on my list.
just know that the role of Ned Beatty is played by the newest member of that band.
Oh.
They made him play that role.
Okay. What I'm gonna do after this is gonna go. I'm gonna go watch that and talk to you about it at Pat Gray tomorrow. Maybe in your ear while you're talking.
Are you able to turn your headphones down just for the fun of it? I just want to see what happens. Just turn them down all the way, because now it's echoing, and we'll see what happens.
I'm trying this on a different mic. How does that sound?
Yeah, let's see. Check. No, I'm hearing myself. I may never do another live stream again. Huh? Check. Yeah, it's gone now. So I don't know what you did. No, now it's back. This is it. I'm retiring from doing live streams after today. So it's been fun. I appreciate everybody being a part. I want to honor my commitment to Ian tomorrow. And then after that, I'm probably just going to hang it up because don't need the extra stress. Okay. Now it's gone. Now the echo's gone. I don't know what's happening right now, but I do appreciate the fact that it's gone. So there we go. All right. I don't see my guest, Dr. Simon Goddek, on the line, and that's fine. I want to at least share his. Let me get his thread, because back in October, he put this thread out that caught my eye, and I reached out to him, and we've been trying to sync schedules, so it's par for the course that something came up today for him. But I've had him scheduled a couple of times, and it just has fallen through. But this thread of his really caught my eye. He's a great follow over on X at GODDEKETAL. I'm sure if you can't see that. So, yes, Toby, we are such professionals, obviously. Dr. Simon Goddek, great follow. And he put out this thread, and it starts off like this. And by the way, when we get down to the videos and I start playing them, I'm of course going to need you to tell me if you can hear them, because that's how we're doing this today. All right, so he asked at the time, remember Dr. Leana Wen, the woman who demanded that the unvaxxed should not be allowed to leave their homes? Wen wasn't just a COVID fearmonger, but also a crisis actor during the Boston Marathon bombings. Oh my goodness, what? This thread will make any conspiracy theorist go nuts, so stay with me. All right, so before we go down into this rabbit hole, let's be clear that the biggest villain from the COVID era was definitely Anthony Fauci. Can we all agree on that? That guy is the tip of the spear of COVID era suck. He needs more examination than anybody. But there are other people who definitely need scrutiny. And I do not want them to fade into the background, justice never being served. That's why I have hope that something will actually come out of the COVID files. One of the things that Anna Paulina Luna teased when she spoke yesterday or 2 days ago about what was going to be revealed, what they were going to uncover. Hell, she's already said there's at least 2 shooters of JFK, so she's seen something. But I'd love to do a deep dive at some point on Anthony Fauci. So who knows? Maybe files will be released without us having to do podcasts like this. Because don't forget, you're not going to be doing it with me because I'm going to be retiring after tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. At the very least, I'll just put my phone up here and hit go live. So I'm not going anywhere. Okay, so and I don't know. As we explore this thread of Dr. Leana Wen, I don't want us to get. I think it's a part of her story, obviously, that she was born in China, but that we can visit, separately. Just the fear mongering was out of control with this woman. And I remember on Pat Gray Unleashed on my day job over at the Blaze, she would pop up all the time. The clips that we would play, it's like, who are you? And we'll play them. We'll refresh your memory. Perhaps you remember her, but do you remember all the specific stuff that she was saying? But anyway, so she was, let me just set it up, that she was born in Shanghai, China. But then immigrated to the U.S. in 2003. So she was born in 1983. So, let's see. So, okay, so she was 8 when they moved here. So, born in 83, somewhere around 1991, moves here, becomes a U.S. citizen, in 2003. All right, that's Leana Wen. That's where we're going to start. Okay, so now let me get into this thread from Dr. Goddek. Uh-oh. Oh, gosh, what do we have here? World Economic Forum. That's your first. Somebody should be scoring at home for us. All right, let's just okay. Born in communist China. All right. She's on the World Economic Forum website. All right, we got a couple strikes here. How many strikes are you allowed? Okay, so let's get down here. Number 2. Dr. Simon Goddek says, "Don't you find it weird that the Chinese Communist Party released fake CCTV footage of COVID victims, and then suddenly a Chinese-born woman shows up and spends over 3 years trying to cripple the U.S. economy with fear and panic?" Yeah, me too. Let's fact-check her statements. So there's some fake videos there. I mean, this... Now, look, as bad as COVID was for some people, myself included, it was really bad for me. I didn't have the strength to move like that, so I don't know what this guy's doing. Is this a dance? What are we doing here? That's not a COVID symptom. That's a let's. I don't know what that is actually. All right. So number 3 on Simon Goddek's thread here, and Dr. Leana Wen. In September of 2021, Wen demanded that the unvaccinated should not be allowed to leave their homes. This statement lacks support from available data to this day. It appears that you can take China-born Leana... I love how he emphasizes that. All right. China-born Leana Wen out of communism, but you can't take communism out of Leana Wen. And there you go. There's her quote. "You have the option to not get vaccinated if you want," said the doctor, "but then you can't go out in public." Again, I ask, who are you? Oh, my goodness. Now, where are we at here? In July of 2021, Wen claimed that it would be much safer for vaccinated people to be around others who received the gene therapy. I do love the subtle inferences there. But I mean, that's what it is, gene therapy. She also asserted that vaccinating everyone would stop the pandemic. She has been proven wrong on both accounts. For the record, you know how I said, man, we sure are having some technical difficulties getting on YouTube today. We're going to have... Okay, there's Wes again.
I'm back, baby.
Okay, and I'm hearing myself.
Okay, never mind. Hang on.
Yeah, thank you. So, back to my point about YouTube. While we're not there right now, chances of us staying on there with this episode later are pretty minimal. So, don't plan on it being there. And why do I keep hearing myself, Wes? I'm about to break the internet with a hammer. let's go on to this thread here. There's a tweet from her back on July 31st when she said, because somebody said, vaccinate, all caps. Oh my gosh. Vaccinated people do not transmit the virus at the same rate as unvaccinated people. And if you fail to include that context, you're doing it wrong. Exactly, says Dr. Wen. We need to make it clear that vaccination reduces your chance of getting infected with COVID-19 and thus transmitting it. Vaccinated people, emphasis by Dr. Goddek, vaccinated people around other vaccinated people is much safer than around those unvaccinated. The key to stopping the pandemic, vaccination. And let me just pause right there. Has anyone gone through the step-by-step process? I was doing this before we got started here. Let's say the COVID-19 files, because I've back up. Sorry, give me a second here. Been a day. I've said that if the truth ever came out about the vaccine, and I mean full-blown truth, that I suspect many of you have the same opinion of as me, that if it ever came, maybe beyond, but anyway, if it came out that they knew that it was, because a lot of people think that from the very beginning that it was a population control device. Now, I don't know that I'm willing to say that, but I'll listen to you. If you got a guess for me on that, let's go. Let's have that conversation. I'm more than happy to have that conversation. But let's just say the best case scenario, in my opinion, is that they knew from the start that this vaccine was deadly. And we have seen many of the documents from behind the scenes with the companies involved in manufacturing these vaccines that they knew very, very, very early on the damage that it would do. But full steam ahead, you know. So if in the process now of revealing everything in these COVID-19 files, as Anna Paulina Luna was hinting at the other day, if in the course of that it comes out that it was absolutely clear that they knew this, the dangers, and what could happen, and what was happening, I think society risks falling apart because you have had so many people that have been injured and their lives will never be the same, that have lost loved ones, that lost their jobs if they're lucky. That was the biggest issue by not taking it. Couldn't pay a mortgage anymore because they weren't allowed to keep their job because they refused the vaccine. When all the while, if it comes out that they knew the damage that this thing was doing and kept going full speed ahead, your government involved, the only way I think that all of this information really comes out is follow me here.
I'm with you.
Hey, I don't hear myself. That's pretty cool.
I know, it was one click of a button.
Click of a button. Okay. So if the media can figure out a way to pin this on Donald Trump and Operation Warp Speed, that's when you're going to actually get the truth. I think, like, if they could figure out a way, because this was his baby. He's still proud of it to this day. Maybe not as proud of it as he used to be, but...
Well, I mean, it is easy to go, who's the guy in power? And it's just, everybody uses a scapegoat.
Well, it's this big, beautiful vaccine. So anyway, I'm just saying, it's going to be interesting to see what comes out from Representative Anna Paulina Luna and James Comer as we advance along the way here. But number 5, let's go back to the Dr. Simon Goddek thread. In March of 2021, Wen was not worried about increasing cases, but about losing control. For example, vax passports. Remember this nonsense? It was the stupid cards, and then it was the floating the idea of the vax passports. I mean, what were you saying?
I was going to say, that's kind of like, it would remind me of how you can bypass TSA if you pay $100 a year.
Well, bro, you weren't getting anywhere under their system.
Oh, I
You
know. I'm
weren't
just saying,
gonna
but it's
get.
like if you just had it, you like it was almost too easy.
Well, I specifically didn't end up going to a concert because you had to be vaccinated. Oh my gosh, stop it.
I missed the concert too, and I was
And,
very, very upset.
and you had to make the decision, and I decided I'm not going to even pretend that I'm vaccinated because you don't want them thinking that you're okay with their new rules of society. And here's my vax status. No, screw you. We're just not going to your damn concert. Okay, so she said, I'm very concerned that we won't reach herd immunity in the U.S. because of vaccine complacency. Not anti-vax people, but those who need to be incentivized and see what's in it for them. We need to clearly message vaccination equals ticket to pre-pandemic life. Again, a lot of people talking like this during this era. Why was she she was a big out in front, very vocal on this. So as Dr. Goddek says, in July 2021, Wen said that we can't trust the unvaccinated. Sorry, that's me. And then, of course, he follows it up with the big X. I love this. In 20th century authoritarian regimes like Mao's China, societal mistrust was weaponized to marginalize certain groups with disastrous results. Seeing a pattern yet? Yeah, I would have loved to hear him talk to us on this. So let's see if you can hear this. Can you hear this clip of Dr. Leana Wen? Let's give it a shot, shall we?
Vaccinated and unvaccinated people are mixing unless there is proof of vaccination. Everybody should still be wearing masks. And so I actually support what the CDC is now doing, which is going back to this indoor mask requirement, because frankly, we know that we can't trust the unvaccinated, that they have been walking around without masks. And in fact, that's what led to the surge that we're seeing. That when
Okay. So many lies. Again, she's not the only one lying during this era. I just want to point out. But Toby, Heather, could y'all hear Dr. Wen and her awesome knowledge for us there? Can you believe when you watch clips like that? On one hand, it's hard to believe that we actually had that was such a prevalent mindset with so many people that were like, yep, I guess this is the new normal. So on one hand, I can't believe that we were there. And on the other hand, it's like we could so easily go back. And we've got a clip of her coming up that will demonstrate that she wanted us to. Not long ago at all. All right, number 7 on Dr. Goddek. In April of 2021, Wen labeled people who chose not to vaccinate themselves or their children as anti-science. And then, of course, Goddek follows it up with, COVID never posed any risk to children or adolescents, yet she pushed for getting children vaccinated despite the long-term effects being unknown back then. Yeah, absolutely. And then here's another clip that we'll play of you. This is Dr. Leana Wen.
A week here in Greene County reveals a more nuanced, layered hesitancy than surveys suggest.
Okay.
People say that politics isn't the leading driver of their vaccine attitudes. The most common reason for their apprehension is fear that the vaccine was developed in haste, that long-term side effects are unknown. Their decisions are also entangled in a web of views about bodily autonomy, science and authority, plus a powerful regional, somewhat romanticized self-image. We don't.
What in the hell? Romance
thing doesn't make sense.
What is he talking about?
It's not like you're going on the cover of Vogue.
Smirconish. Okay.
Like outsiders messing in our business.
We don't like outsiders messing in our business. I just don't want something that's been around for less than 5 minutes injected into me, and something that I don't need. See, that's the thing. It was killing at its peak, what percent? Stop it. Let's see what else we got here.
How do we reach that mindset?
Yeah, it's a really good question.
Oh, no, I'm going to be serious. I'm a doctor, and I know better than you, and Let me explain to you why, if you refuse to get vaccinated, you clearly suck and do not belong in society with the rest of us.
I think actually there are 3 buckets of people who have not yet had the vaccine, and we have to regard these 3 groups very differently.
Okay.
There's a group that's truly anti-vax. They're anti-science. They may not be vaccinated. They're children. I actually don't think that that's the group that we should be targeting.
A week here in Greene County.
All right, we got. Okay, let's see. Hang on a second. Oh no, hang on. I just got a note from Sue. I'm sorry, Sue. I just see that. So what? I don't know. It was a YouTube comment. So are we on YouTube, or we were?
Yeah,
and it went away. Okay, good. Oh, good. I'm sorry. All right, very good. Very
YouTube
good.
and Twitter going.
So here's what I need to tell everybody. If you are in the YouTube chat, I'm sorry to get distracted here. ADD, as you well know.
That's what I'm here for. Buddy.
Exactly right. So our boy Wes is gonna keep an eye on the YouTube chat as best he can, because I don't see it coming up over here. Shoot.
It's got a little bit of delay from the Twitter. So.
Okay. All right. So just wanted everybody to know. Feel free to chat over there on YouTube. Look at that. Now we're on this side. That do you prefer us down at the bottom or on the side?
I can change the grid layout.
No, I like this. This looks good. This looks good. I like this a lot. I like us being on the side now. That's pretty cool.
We can be picture in picture, or
have fun over there, Wes. Okay, number 8.
I'm having a blast.
In September 2021, Wen admitted that vaccine passports for travel aren't about safety, but here we go. Yep, it's all about coercing people into getting the shot, and she had no problem with that. And I don't even know. At some point, I've got to play another clip that I don't think is in this thread. But boy, she is something else. But I like this. This is a great point by Dr. Goddek. She proposed a Chinese-like social credit system. Never forget that. I mean, they wanted that social credit score for us so badly.
Keith, what would your social credit score be?
Negative something.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely absolute 0, probably. Or maybe a little bit above. I don't like to think I'm that bad of a guy, but yeah, it's yeah.
And by the way, there's another theme of totalitarianism coming up a week from now, March 20th, when Daguerre does his presentation on 15-minute cities. If you never saw his central bank digital currency presentation back last summer, that was very informative as well. But he's going to talk to us about life under control of a totalitarian government. But all right, so here's this clip of Leana Wen, September 2021. Please tell me how much I suck.
I absolutely think we should have that requirement. I think it was a major oversight on the part of the Biden administration to not issue this yesterday. And we have to talk about...
Where was she born again? I can't recall.
About the reason. The reason isn't so much that we need to keep our train travel and plane travel even safer. They are pretty safe, although I definitely think that having a vaccine requirement would make it even safer and probably encourage many people who are vaccinated or who have young kids and want to protect them. Maybe it'll help to encourage those people to start traveling again. But there's an even bigger reason too, which is I think we really need to make it clear that there are privileges associated with being an American, that if you wish to have these privileges, you need to get vaccinated. Travel and having the right to travel interstate, it's not a constitutional right as far as I know, to board a plane. And so saying that if you want to stay unvaccinated, that's your choice. But if you want to travel, you better go get that back.
My goodness. Guys, we're not this far removed from being on the precipice of this being a reality. By the way, Wes, keep your eye out. Dr. Goddek is in a storm with a dead battery, but he's trying to connect. So hopefully,
how long does he know about this? He had one job. Just keep your phone charged, okay? No, I'm just kidding.
So I don't know exactly where he is. By the way, somebody check the radar. Where's it storming?
I mean, it's cold here, but that's all we got.
So anyway, and by the way, just a heads up to those of you in Dallas. Apparently next Tuesday, Wednesday, another snowstorm coming this way. So we'll see how that works out.
Jackets.
You got jackets.
I got an awesome Pico. I want to wear it. Sorry.
Wes. Okay, so we'll keep an eye out for Dr. Goddek as we continue through his thread here. All right, so as far as I know, you don't have a constitutional right to, travel as you please as an American. Where was she born again? It just keeps slipping my mind. I'm trying to think of where.
Who are you talking about?
Where
The
she was born.
doctor?
Yeah, I know where she was born.
That's it.
Okay, so number 9, Dr. Leana Wen is a deeply dubious figure who constantly contradicted herself and tried to impose authoritarian values on the free American society. I wouldn't be surprised if she were still in the payroll of authoritarian regimes or eugenic NGOs. Can I please?
It makes sense. She's from Shanghai.
We've got to. Yes, I know. We said that. So what I need,
sorry.
we need to look up and see if her name is connected to any USAID. Can you go to that Gov search or whatever it is, Wes, and just see if you find anything connected to Dr. Leana Wen,
Okay.
and just see if any government money has come into her. But anyway, I appreciate that. No one should tell you what to do with your body. Oh yeah, she did. By the way, she I don't think she's still there, but she definitely in 2018 was appointed president of Planned Parenthood Federation of America, the first medical doctor to serve in that role in nearly 50 years. Congratulations, first female doctor. All right, good for you. Planned Parenthood, as you can see, no one should tell you what to do with your body, except for the vaccine. Obviously, that one they have every right because things. Let's see here. What I wish there's a vaccine requirement. There she went. See, there it is. She even tweeted it. Vaccine requirements for interstate travel, mandates for school. It's time for drastic action. I like this. Did I just say eugenic NGOs? There was something about that. Yeah, there we go. There's the Planned Parenthood thing. She's ready to fight so that you can kill babies. Number 11. It's also revealing. Oh, hey, there's Dr. Goddek. Hey, hang on a second. How do I...
So, on that note, Dr. Gooding, hi, but I gotta go. My wife and I have to get going, but it's been a lot of fun to be
Bye, baby.
On the other side. But you.
Let me before you go, Wes. Can I get a mic check from Dr. Simon here? Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just want to make sure I can hear him. Wes, thanks, buddy.
It was
Love
a
you,
pleasure,
man.
guys.
Be good.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, man.
Keith for sure. But
Yes,
anybody
sir.
else, it's a lot of fun. So
Thanks, man.
It's been real. All right,
Thank
guys,
you.
Take it easy.
Dr. Goddek is on borrowed time. I don't know where you're at, sir, but I know that you're fighting storms and batteries right now. So
Yeah, I'm in the Brazilian jungle, and
Oh!
we have really bad weather here, so I'm off grid. So
Okay.
I could be going if I'm just disappearing. It's because
If you disappear, we won't take it personally. So we've just been going through your thread. Obviously, we're down to number 11. Just played a couple of clips of Dr. Leana Wen. While we've got you, I'm going to just shut up here and just talk to us about this woman. And is she still a threat to us in America?
oh well, I mean, like recently she was talking about the bird flu.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like,
I was going to get down to that clip. Yeah, from
yeah,
your thread.
It's wild. I mean, she's been one of the voices that was really pushing the mandates and the lockdowns and the discrimination against the unvaccinated. So I know maybe you've been already to the thread post then when she said like the unvaccinated shouldn't even be allowed to leave their homes.
Yeah.
And there are other clips where she's saying we can't trust the unvaccinated. And
Yep.
she's been very harsh about what she's been saying about us, or at least those who didn't get the vax. So it's including me.
Yeah.
And then she has been backpedaling. I think
Yeah.
we're there right now here.
Yeah, so we just played that one about, as far as I know, there's no constitutional right to travel. And so that was what we just played. So what do
And
you...
then
What,
here she said, like, look in this post, she said, like, I'm concerned about those who advocate for broad restrictions for all publicly. So she was the worst with Eric Feigl-Ding, who's another CCP shill, you know? So I she's probably, she probably knows what she's been doing. I think she was even paid to do so. I mean,
so
like,
that's what I want to ask you, because you mentioned the NGOs here, and obviously in the last week or two here in the U.S., we've been uncovering through the Trump administration all of these USAID connections to people like Leana Wen. I don't know. I should have looked this up before we went live today. You know she's going to be connected. There's going to be some payment, and maybe somebody can look it up while I'm babbling here. But I would not be surprised if there's just a cache of money going to her or organizations that she's a part of. But I mean, that would explain so much. But do you think, let me ask you this. You make the point in the thread here, and it's just facts, that she was born in China. She immigrated when she was 8. She did become a U.S. citizen around the age of 20. But
Yeah.
beyond those connections, like, do we know if there is a formal connection between her and the CCP?
No.
Okay.
But you can, like, it's always the same playbook with them. Theresa Tam, same.
Yeah.
Eric Feigelding, same. They were all born in China, and then they emigrate to the US, and suddenly they're following the CCP playbook.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's scroll through here. Let me get back to.
Forget, like, CNN and co are pushing them. It's not like, they get publicity. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So let's pause for just a second because I want to go before we go down to Boston here. I want to play what you just referenced, the bird flu thing, because as recently as December, she. By the way, hold on, I gotta play this. This is my favorite clip of hers during the whole mess of COVID. Let me see. I gotta stop this screen. I'm sorry. Shoot. I want to play this. Let me play 2 clips here. Then we'll get back to the thread because we got to talk about Boston. Dear God, I hope your battery lasts. Okay, so here is.
I mean, you were mentioning, Chris, about how all these states are reopening. They're reopening at 100%. And we have a very narrow window to tie reopening policy to vaccination status. Because otherwise, if everything is reopened, then what's the carrot going to be? How are we going to incentivize people to actually get the vaccine? So that's why I think the CDC and the Biden administration needs to come out a lot bolder and say, if you're vaccinated, you can do all these things. Here are all these freedoms that you have. Because otherwise, people are going to go out and enjoy these freedoms anyway. And I fear a situation of coming into the fall where we never reach herd immunity. And then we get hit by the next surge of COVID-19 in the fall, something that we could have prevented if we just got people vaccinated now.
I mean,
I tell you one thing, I'm not a linguist, but I've
Yeah.
studied languages, and I speak plenty, like 8,
Uh-huh.
And I can tell she claims that she is emigrated to the United States when she was 8. It's a lie. She wouldn't have this accent. I mean, I have an accent, probably even a strong one, and I lived in the States when I was 16, 17, 18, 19.
Okay.
And in case if it's true that she was immigrating them, she would never have an accent like this. So she has a very strong Chinese accent, just like Eric Ding and the others. So I think it's a lie that she probably was just moving to the States when she was almost an adult.
Okay. Let me.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, if you're a child and you're growing up in the States, you don't have this accent. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Just
okay.
telling you. Just
No,
telling you.
I'm with you. I'm looking at my clips here, Doctor. I want to play the bird flu one, but I don't know.
One other thing that we're seeing now, and I think this is
No,
a
that's not
response
it.
to the
No,
one
no,
other
this-
thing that we're
this
seeing
one's
now.
wild too.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can't trust the unvaccinated. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, we played that one. Shoot. Well, anyway, you're right though. I don't want the point to be lost that recently she was pushing the bird flu vaccine, like you said, and it's like, what is her deal? Leave us alone. Okay, so let
In
me.
the American economy, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the same deal that Eric Feigelding has. So they're,
I don't know that guy.
What
You keep
Eric
mentioning him.
Feigelding did. I mean, like, I don't want to commit a crime here on TV, or like on stream. But let's put it like this: I figured out that when he was demanding school closures in the United States, that he was actually in Vienna. How did I know this? Not gonna tell, but I knew his IP address. So I was checking on his
Wait.
affairs, and I was like, what the fuck is this dude doing in Vienna? Then I figured out, oh, his wife is actually from Austria. So he was moving to Austria during the pandemic, so his school could go to school, and actually, follow classes. While in the United States, everything was closed. And it's like what a hypocrite, saying like, the schools need to be closed, and then like moving to Austria so his son could live a privileged life. So
Right.
that's what these people did. But
Okay.
let's watch this, number 12. It's too
Yes.
wild.
Okay. So yes, we've gone through her background and what she was pushing
Yeah.
right up to December with the bird flu vaccine. Now is getting crazy.
Let's go to the green screen. Yeah.
Okay, let's play. I'm gonna play this here, and let's. And I've seen this video where it's clearer than it's showing up here for us today. And you're right, man. What is up with that screen? It clearly. I'm telling you, it's got to be a 99.9% chance they did this in a studio, and I don't understand
It's
why.
a green screen.
It's a green screen.
You can tell by the shadows. You can tell by where people are actually looking at. But just play
That's
the
right.
clip.
Here we go. This is after
Leana Wen, she's an emergency room
This is after the Boston Marathon bombing.
physician who was working at Massachusetts General Hospital the day of the terror attack. She also works at Brigham and Women's Hospital. So you were at Massachusetts General Monday. What happened?
Oh, it was a horrific day. We had no idea what was coming. It was 3 o'clock, and we heard that there were 2 explosions, but we didn't know where. We had no idea how many people were coming to us.
How many people came?
It seemed like dozens, and it
Come on, what's going on?
It was probably nearly 3 dozen patients in 2 hours or so.
And was the hospital ready for it? I've heard from Dr. Walls from the other Brigham and Women's Hospital that because of all the drills the hospitals here have been running since 9/11, you were unbelievably prepared.
Technically and medically, we were ready. We had done drills. We knew what to do with each individual patient who came in.
Okay,
Leana Wen,
Dr. Goddek, what's the deal here?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably this was the moment she got activated. But when you then look into, she even claims that her husband was one of the victims who ended up in this emergency room. So what are the odds?
Yeah, right. Let's see. And hold on. What do we know about her husband? Hang on. Well, we'll get there. It's in the thread. I know it's in the thread. But let's see here. Allegedly treating victims. Okay. Calmly report. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Talk to us about Sebastian Neil Walker, doctor.
Look, I mean, like, he's been a reporter for Al Jazeera.
Reporter.
Yeah, exactly. And he was also one of the first on Haiti in 2010. So, it's all connected. It's all these coincidences. What are the odds? What are the odds that he is marrying her and she was just like at the Boston bombings? Then she's working just for CNN. And he was working for New York Times and then for Vice. Like, I think if we dig into USAID and we go back to 2010, we would find all the connections.
Right. We have to search all these names. You're 100% right. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what's hang on a second here. All right, let me check this here. Okay, let's find our next line here in the thread. Okay. Okay. So there he is, where he's in Haiti. Sebastian is.
And you go up.
Sorry.
Guess who else was on this talk show about Haiti? Check that out.
There he is.
Anthony Fauci. Here we go.
That guy. So help me. We need to do a deep dive just on Anthony Fauci. Oh my word!
I did a really deep dive on this person.
Okay,
I screened thousands of websites and I found like some nice hints, but
hey,
it's really wild.
If there's something that you, listen to me, Mr. 50,000 followers is telling a guy with 1 million followers, hey, if there's something on Fauci that you want me to retweet, send it to me. I just realized how ridiculous that sounds. But I would love to see what you got, and maybe we have you on at some point to talk about that, because I didn't realize that you have done a lot of deep dives on him. So cool. We need to look into him. I want to see what you've got there, please. Okay. So yeah, there she is. Okay. So then she,
this I think it was in September, October last year, and she was like saying, "Hey, you should get the new coronavirus shot." Like, and in the clip before, she was still talking about herd immunity through the shot, and she never said like that she was wrong. She's just like, "Oh, continue taking it."
Man, I tell you, and they act like they've never said anything. Like they get on there, and it's like what they said in the past never comes back to haunt them. They never have to answer for that. Whether it's someone like this that gets out in front of a camera or a politician, there's no reckoning.
For example, check this question. They were asking like, "Oh, how much should people worry about this?" She was like, "Oh, not at all, of course." But why wouldn't they ask her like, "Oh, you were always claiming about herd immunity. You were always claiming about that the unvaccinated kill the vaccinated." She never gets these questions. It's literally like they use her, or she's part of this, so they would just ask her questions she knows them beforehand, and they would like continue their common gaslighting. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
These journalists, it's gaslighting. You see, they should be sure they're up to date with vaccines. Wow,
That's cute.
wow.
That's cute.
There's no word about the unvaccinated people. Oh my gosh, here I'm talking about. Actually, her name is not Dr. Leana Wen. It's Wen Lingyan. So let's be real.
Right.
And also, Theresa Tam is Tan Yongxi, and Eric Ding is Ding Liang. So this sounds more like CCP. So they give themselves like these posh English names they actually don't have. So they don't appear like CCP agents, you know.
Right.
One other thing that
So
we're
so
seeing now,
I guess we hadn't played this. I'm sorry. Let's see what this is here.
this is a response to the rise of Delta, is more willingness among governmental authorities and others to mandate the vaccine. We saw that yesterday the VA said it's going to require the vaccine for its employees. We saw the mayor of New York, the governor of California. Do you anticipate seeing more in this vein, more requirements?
Yes, and it cannot come soon enough.
Oh,
We have hit a wall
me!
when it comes to vaccinations in this country. We're just not going to get anywhere close to the vaccine levels that we need in order to prevent another surge of coronavirus and the development of new mutations and new variants over time. Really, what we need to do is to make a decision as a society. I mean, we have laws, for example, against drunk driving. You can drink in your home or in private if you would like. But we have a law saying that if you want to get behind a wheel where you could potentially endanger other people, then that's not allowed. That's against the
I'm
standards
picking up
of
on that
conduct
too.
in our society.
I'm sorry.
I think at some point we need to make a similar decision about the vaccine. You can remain unvaccinated if you so choose. But if you want to be in public and potentially could be infecting others with a dangerous and sometimes fatal disease that's highly transmissible, then there's an obligation of society. I mean, I think you could have an opt-out the way that France, for example, or Italy and other countries are doing, saying that if you want to be in bars, restaurants, movie theaters, etc., either be vaccinated or have proof of a recent negative test. I hope that we move in that direction as a country here, because at the end of the day, I don't really understand why people have the choice to be infecting our vulnerable children or immunocompromised people, or even others who have taken the responsible choice to get vaccinated.
Okay.
So she's actually saying, oh, yeah, they could infect others who are vaccinated, but it's like their fault. I think if you need to get the vaccine for the vaccinated to be safe, something is wrong.
Right.
So,
I mean, just.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
But to your point, and I'm going to call it a hunch, I guess. But to your insistence that I think is, I feel you. I think that her connection to the CCP is much more likely there than not. Okay, especially because she's so insistent that we shut down our society. To your point about crashing the American economy, to just destroying our society. But let me ask you this, and this is where I'm going to ask you to really be speculative, okay, as opposed to just going on what I think is a very educated guess, let's say, about any potential connection to the CCP. Let me ask you this: do you think, and we talked about this before you joined us here, do you think that the vaccine itself was created to be a weapon, or is it just such technology that isn't that's just bad technology at this point, and oh my gosh, we accidentally are killing all of these people? Because when you have people like Dr. Leana Wen who have immigrated from a nation that does not like us and is pushing something that is killing people. This is going to be taken off YouTube in 5 minutes. But anyway, the point is, it almost makes it seem like, my gosh, stop pushing this. What is going on?
Yeah, Chinese people didn't take mRNA. You know this, right?
Tell us more.
Their vector shizzle, whatever they had in China. So I don't know why they were pushing mRNA on us. I think it was more opportunistic from from Big Pharma and Bill Gates and whoever invested in them. So the past studies on mRNA technology as in vaccines, I think the main studies were cancer vaccines. They all literally failed. So I don't understand why they pushed it on us on a respiratory seasonal respiratory disease. Like, let's call it the sniffles, right? It was nothing but the sniffles. So if you had a vitamin D blood serum level above 50, you would never get the COVID or the sniffles or the baby flu. So the question is, why did this happen? I think they just ran the test for climate lockdowns. So they were checking like how far can they go, how many people are going to comply, can we do it again in the future? But of course there are many factors that we have to take into consideration. Also, I think that China wasn't really in lockdown mode. Their economy was skyrocketing while the Western economy was crumbling. So that especially Chinese players, or let's say also communist players, there were many others who were hardcore leftists who were pushing this agenda. That mainly they were like in favor of these harsh lockdowns that didn't make any sense. Masks, stay inside, like don't go to the gym, eat fast food, nothing that made sense. That's something we have to really talk about, and also reconsider what's the big plan behind it. I mean, there are many theories. Maybe all these theories are partly true. But I think all the ways lead back to the WF and to power grab. It's a globalist power grab.
Sure.
But what their end goal is, I have no clue. I mean, I have some ideas, but I have many ideas to be fair. And I'm tweeting about this all the time. It's actually about
please, you got to follow Dr. Goddek. So let me ask you this. Today's actually, from my perspective, a very good day for America. Robert Kennedy was just confirmed to head up HHS, Health and Human Services, here under Trump. The Senate being in control of the Republicans, and therefore, in theory, giving more power to someone like Rand Paul, who has been dogged in his attempt to bring Dr. Anthony Fauci to justice. Do you think that there will ever be a reckoning for people like Anthony Fauci for COVID?
I think so.
You think so?
Yes. I mean, the more we're going to dig, USAID, we need to dig deep, and we need to see, look, where are the connections? For how many years have they been already corrupt? So I think he's been pardoned since 2013, but they're 30 years before.
Exactly my point. Yes. HIV, okay. Sure. If he skates on COVID, we'll get him for what he did for AIDS.
And I think there's also a law in the United States that he can still.
One other thing that we're seeing now.
Hush.
Oh, she's talking again. Oh,
no, sorry.
for national crimes, for federal crimes, and which he surely committed. So the more we're going to learn about Wuhan, the more we're going to learn about the Eco Alliance, Peter Daszak, Ralph Barrage, Christian Drost, Marin Koopmans, all this is going to come to light. And at some point, he needs to be held accountable. We just shouldn't forget, there's always there are always new topics. Then it was Hamas, and then it's like this and that, and people keep on forgetting to talk about COVID. But this is when we look back 40 years and 40 years time. You said, okay, this is when it started. This is when it really started, And I hope we're not going to say it like this. Maybe we're going to be like, okay, this is when we prevented things that could have been much worse. I hope that's going to be how we remember this time.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid it's going to get worse. So they're going to be, even here in Brazil, banks already implement carbon credits on your bank account, so they check. Are you buying online, or how many kilos of carbon dioxide you actually owe?
You know what? That's interesting. I can we just take a detour here for Brazil just for a moment? You living down there, what's the future look like for Brazil? Because from my perspective, it just looks like Brazil was another one of those nations that had their election taken.
I cannot say yes. It's dangerous, but I would agree with you.
Sorry.
Like this, so it's most likely rigged. I just said most likely. There's always a likelihood that it wasn't, but it was weird. Anyway, so I think Brazil is already in the future, far ahead from the US when it comes to digital payments. So money is something non-existent anymore, as in physical money. It's really hard to get. And it's really hard to pay with. I've been to places I want to pay with money. They're like, we're going to take money. I'm like, what the heck? So everybody here pays with a phone. not even a credit card or a debit card anymore. It's just the phone. QR codes. You pay with QR codes. So literally, what they did with COVID, these QR codes you could check your tests, etc. So that's what's happening here with payments. So everybody's literally paying QR codes. Of course, it's convenient, but the problem is the government. Since January 1st, they have access to every single payment of you, micropayment, macropayment, everything. And it's all linked to you and your personal social security number. So it's really hard to make payments without the government knowing that you made payments. So I mean, like I'm in the jungle, as you know, so I trade just like in the good old times. So I trade chicken. I give my neighbor a chicken, he gives me 10 liters of milk. Really hardcore. So we don't pay taxes. They don't know what we are doing, but it's really crazy. Where Brazil is going under.
And I just feel that the United States was on the cusp of that, if not for our election results in November.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean,
oh gosh.
Here's they're literally Brazil is a lab for what's coming in the West. But people here are as conservative in the States. So literally, the majority of the South and the North, west of Brazil is conservative. So people here are quite aware of what's going on. In the Northeast, we're mainly African immigrants, like from the population with higher melanin levels. They are hardcore socialist and communist, and they don't get it. I mean, like they've been voting socialism for like 40 years, and they're still the poorest part of the country, and they don't get it, So they're actually that's keeping Brazil down. So I think for where I'm living, I think my state is sending more than 50% of the profit to the Northeast, so they can get their food while not working. So it's really fucked up. It's literally, imagine California is richer than they are, but it's really a divided country. It's communism versus capitalism.
Man.
So if I weren't living here, I was like, the best thing you can do is split the country up, but like it's a crime to say it here. So
well, I don't.
Check the post here. Here you can see what I was 1 up 20. The post number 20.
Sorry. Scroll 20. Yeah. Look at that right there.
Look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, woke Europe. I mean, like they're like dumb as fuck. I mean, they cut off Russian gas. They were hardcore, really hardcore. The US wasn't that hardcore, but Europe was hardcore. And you look at their economy, and they were like, "Oh, it's necessary." Look at China. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Tinfoil hat glowing. Yeah. Yep. The whole thing of her being connected to the World Economic Forum. I mean, that's a strike against you right out of the gate. That says everything. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well. Okay. So, please, when we disconnect here, Doctor, if you get a chance, would you send me a thread that you're particularly fond of Anthony Fauci? I would love to see. Now, because I read the real Anthony Fauci, which I highly recommend, Robert Kennedy's book. If you want to learn,
he has some good ghostwriters.
Okay, all right. Well, I will just say that when you walk away from that book, it's hard to determine if Anthony Fauci or Bill Gates is the worst person.
Yeah, I know who wrote the book, so. He participated a lot, so he gave lots of input. So let's give him the credit, right? But there was another person who literally sat down and I mean, like, how he couldn't have the time. I think during the pandemic he wrote like 6 huge books. So how does he do it? It's impossible. But I mean, like, he put the information together very well. Unfortunately, they didn't look over the Atlantic Ocean. They didn't talk about the person who actually made everything possible. It wasn't Fauci, it was Christian Drosten. Christian Drosten is like, without him there wouldn't have been any pandemic. And Fauci, I mean, like, he's like, of course, he's the face of COVID in the United States, but he didn't make this pandemic possible. It was Christian Drosten who created this PCR protocol in a fraudulent peer review process. And he also was the one who started with the myth of asymptomatic transmission. So he was obviously having the first patient who was asymptomatic and transmitted the virus. So he caused these two things, and Fauci did none of this. He just went with the narrative, but he didn't make the narrative, he didn't activate the narrative. So without Drosten, there wouldn't have been a pandemic. Without Fauci, there would have been a pandemic. So unfortunately, nobody's focusing on this really, really awful German.
Wait, why is it?
Without going to jail?
Why does it always come from Germany?
Hitler was Austrian, and the First World War was Austrian as well. But still, he is like same mindset. He's equally evil. So when people compare him to Mengele, I was like, no, Mengele wasn't that bad. So yeah, I mean, like if you consider this without the test, I mean, like even Drosten said it himself, without the testing, there wouldn't have been any pandemic. He said like, without us testing people, we wouldn't know that there is a pandemic. He said it himself. I'm like, wow, this is honesty. Mm-hmm. So without the test, there wouldn't have been any pandemic. There wouldn't have been any panic. And actually, the panic and the elevated cortisol levels in our body, they actually caused the excess mortality in April and May. And after this, there was no excess mortality anymore. But still, without excess mortality, they were pushing the vaccines. Against what? Against fighting the non-existent excess mortality? Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, he was making everything possible with the test and with the myth of asymptomatic transmission, and he's still a free man, which is wild. I mean, like, he should at least, I mean, like, there is no death penalty in Europe, but that's why I said, like, he should at least be in jail, or at least see a judge for what has been causing. There's so much evidence against him, like, and they just don't care because they're protecting him, because the whole system is actually protecting the man, because the man is protecting the whole system.
Yeah, because I mean, if it's a house of cards, if somebody's going to take the fall, everybody's going to end up taking the fall, and then maybe society collapses in on itself, because you've got governments, ours included, that were constantly pushing, get yourself vaccinated if you want to keep your job, get yourself vaccinated, and I want there to be an accounting for people, because there have been countless bodily injuries and deaths that were so unnecessary through the vaccine.
Was it de Blasey who was sitting there eating hamburger and fries, and she's like, "Oh, look, so delicious hamburgers and fries. Get the vax, you can have this delicious."
that was the governor of New York, Cuomo.
No, it wasn't Cuomo. I think it was de Blasio. But
it was de Blasio. Oh, the mayor.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Hell,
they
like,
both
sitting
suck.
there like fat, eating burger, elevating his cortisol and being even unhealthier and more vulnerable. And it's like, oh, you can combine these, all these free donuts you could get, get the vaccine, get the free donut. Like, what the heck, if people didn't understand it was a psyop, it's like, yeah. It was at least the latest point that people should wake up. Who didn't wake up at that point is lost anyway. I mean, like a donut and a vaccine together, or even all these McDonald's vaccination centers. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, that these drive-through vaccination centers. You could go there oh, Lord.
So, okay, last question for you here, and then I'll let you go. I know you're dealing with some harsh weather right now, and I appreciate you figuring out a way to make this happen, man. Do you think that, or I guess let me ask you this: what's the likelihood that we're going to see another a clampdown, the way we did with COVID? Do you think that they're going to use something else, even if it is the climate, but maybe it's bird flu? But do you see them being able to impose that kind of tyranny again on the West?
No, not if the Republicans or Trump maintains president. In Europe, we also have some countries that are really waking up: Hungary, Italy. So it depends, of course. It always depends. But in general, I think the global cabal is still, they still have the power over everything. You can see what happened the last year. So if you criticize just one specific group of people, you also still get shut down. So I think there's still the people who are managing the narrative are still managing it to some degree. Of course, Trump and Elon Musk are doing their best in order to expose corruption.
Yeah.
And we could prolong the current state of freedom. But I think in the long term, it's going to be very, very difficult unless more and more people are waking up. And then of course, they don't have a chance against the population. But they keep on doing stuff. When we were demanding, like, okay, we should persecute Fauci, and everybody was like, together, hunting down all these COVID people. Suddenly, Hamas attacked Israel, and we were all divided because 49% was literally pro-Israel, 49 pro-Palestine, people like me, 2%. We don't dislike both of them. We're like, fuck you both, It's literally, the society got divided totally. And so suddenly this strong opposition movement got split into two parts. And I think it was no coincidence that whatever happened on October 7th happened on October 7th. Because we just got momentum and they destroyed it. And that's how they play with us. It's all part of their playbook.
Yeah, it feels like we are
like that. Yeah,
little
Prove me
pawns here.
wrong.
Hey, did I spell that right? I've been trying to type
correct.
that.
It's like
okay,
how
cool.
I did myself on scientific papers, Goddek et al. So yeah.
Now I get it. Okay.
Yeah, people don't get it, so I should make a better one. But I mean, like, all the other ones, Simon Goddek, Dr. Goddek, they're all banned. so during COVID, I was always making new accounts, and that was banned within an hour. So all these hashtags or all these names are not available for me. So I just go with this one.
Gotcha. Well, follow him over on X, and thank you again for your time. Please be safe with the storms that you're dealing with, and everybody, thank you for sticking with us throughout the technical issues that we had at the onset here. I'm so grateful for your patience, and we'll see you again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Ian Patterson will be here. We'll have some fun with a Friday live stream. Thanks, everybody. Y'all be well.
Bye-bye.